The year is 1398. On the eve of the decisive battle at Delhi, Timur, the lame conqueror, stands before 100,000 prisoners.
In the year 1398, Timur's hordes swept across the Indus.
They were a burden. Allies.
And he gave an order.
They called it the Great Silence, a period of unparalleled devastation that reshaped...
All were to be executed.
In a single day. And so, the crimson tide receded, leaving behind only dust, blood, and that was only the prelude. This is Timur. The man who called himself the Sword of Islam. The inheritor of Genghis Khan's terrible legacy. He was an undeniable military genius, but also a man of supreme brutality. His target, the limitless wealth of India. His pretext for invasion? That the sultans of Delhi were too tolerant of their Hindu subjects. Timur's army swept across northern India like a desert storm. They ravaged everything in their path. But upon reaching the gates of Delhi, he faced the problem of 100,000 prisoners.
They slowed his advance, consumed rations, and might rebel when the battle began.
Timur's solution was absolute. And inhuman.
This massacre sent a clear message to the Sultan of Delhi. I have not come to negotiate. I have come to destroy. Timur's army was ready.
But Sultan Nasiruddin Mahmud Shah Tughlaq was ready too.
And he possessed a weapon the steppe cavalry had never faced. They were mobile fortresses, meticulously armored from head to toe. Their long tusks were tipped with poison, ready to impale any who stood in their way.
They were the living tanks of the ancient world.
And Timur's cavalry was utterly useless against them.
They were bewildered by the scent and the roars of the enormous beasts.
The iron discipline of the Mongols began to break.
This was the invaders' dilemma. How do you defeat a moving wall of steel and ivory?
Timur saw the fear in his soldiers' eyes. And he devised a solution.
Not with steel! Not with arrows! But with camels. And fire. Move the left flank, now!
The plan was not just genius. It was madness.
He ordered the army's thousands of camels to be gathered.
They loaded their backs with dry grass, pine wood, and sulfur.
Closer now than ever before, the war elephants advanced, an armored line that signaled the end for any who stood in their path.
The Battle of Delhi began.
The ground trembled as the 120 war elephants advanced with confidence. They expected to crush the Mongol cavalry.
Timur waited. Waited!
The Khan's elite, the Mongol warriors, waited. One command, and the largest empire the world had ever known would strike again.
And gave the order. Fire.
The soldiers set the fires, turning thousands of camels into living torches, shrieking in pain.
They drove them straight towards the enemy's formation.
That sound. That sight.
The burning beasts crashed into the armored beasts.
And the wall of elephants broke.
The normally mighty war elephants, driven to extreme panic by the mobile flames. They could not understand.
They turned.
But then, the unthinkable happened. The very beasts they relied on as weapons, becoming an unstoppable...
They began to run.
They ran backwards, tearing through their own army's ranks.
They trampled their own infantry, crushed their own cavalry, and destroyed every tactical discipline the Sultan had arranged.
The chaos was absolute.
The battle was, in effect, over in that moment. What followed was simply a slaughter.
Timur's cavalry, now fearless, plunged into the gap.
They hunted down the fleeing remnants of the Delhi army.
With the war elephants gone, the formidable gates of Delhi were left undefended. A dark, ominous shadow fell upon the ancient city.
Timur was victorious.
He entered Delhi. And the sack of Delhi began. For 3 days, the city was drowned in fire and blood.
Timur's campaign left Delhi in ruins, its people scattered, and the echoes of grief carried on the night air.
All resistance was extinguished. Every home was looted. This tiny spark, a remnant of the inferno below, drifts through the smoke, When Timur left, he took with him an enormous treasure. And thousands of the best craftsmen, engineers, and architects. He took them back to Samarkand to build his capital. Delhi was no longer a city.
Once the jewel of the empire, Delhi now lay buried beneath the ceaseless snowfall of ash, a silence more profound than any scream.
A contemporary historian recorded,
The city was so desolate, not even a bird would fly over it.
It would take an entire century.
For Delhi to recover from this destruction.
And so, as the twilight descends upon these ancient stones, we must consider the true cost of their legacy.
Was Timur's fire camel tactic a stroke of strategic genius? And in the end, in war, the line between the two.
How thin is it?